student, and I heartily welcome to team from Time Education, Mr. Alagiri and Mr. Murli sir, for this give the guest lecture for the third year students for importance of GRE, TOEFL and GATE. This is very useful for your career for a MS, ME, MTech and MBA program. Okay, utilize this hour and heartly welcome to once again welcome to Time team.
Years and third years or just third years? Third years. Okay. From which departments? All departments combined. Okay. Mechanical person. Right. Before we have this 1 hour, it's not going to be a seminar, right? For the next 1 hour, what we'll be doing is we'll be discussing on what are your career options after you are going to graduate out next year. That's in March 2017, you people will be graduating, right? So after March 2017, what are the options and avenues that you'll be having, right? And how to proceed on with that. That's what we are going to discuss for the next 1 year. Sorry, 1 hour. You have a slide change? You have a slide change? So, we are discussing about higher education and job offers and all those things. So basically, when you choose a job, right, what job you are going to take or what line of work you are going to take up in the future, these are the things that decide them. So, sir, one slide before. So, as soon as we have a call from 2 or 3 companies, the first thing that you are going to use in shortlist is the pay package of that company. So money, the social respect. See, some jobs you will not take it because of the money. For example, IAS jobs, where the salary is low, but the social respect and the responsibility that you have from that kind of jobs is completely different. So that is a factor that decides what job you are going to take. Power and authority, right? Growth. After 10 years, how you will be. Right, after 15 years, what are the chances of growth, right? And finally, job security. Job security is very important. That is the reason why people are still trying for bank exams and government exams and TNPSC. They know the salary is low, right? They know they cannot grow faster. But still, why they do that is, the job is secure. You will not be forced into termination or reviews and all those things, right? That is the reason why I put all of these in a circle. I have not put them in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 order. The reason is, any job that you are going to take it up, right? All five of these have to be taken into account, right? You can't decide a job or a study which you are going to take on any one of these factors. That should not be the case, right? You should take all 5 of these into account. So after you graduate, as we are discussing, you have 3 options actually. One is higher studies, right? People who will be trying for ME, MTech, MBA, MS and all PhDs and all those things. And the second one is jobs, right? And can someone tell you what's the other option apart from higher studies and jobs, your placement? No, all defense or anything, that all comes under jobs, right? Entrepreneurship. Taking care of your own family business or starting up your own. See, startup is the thing of the day as of today, right? So having your own entrepreneurship, your own company or something like that. So primarily you have 3 avenues in front of you: the job, the higher studies, or the other one. So why am I talking to third years? You people have one more year to actually graduate, and you people have at least 1.5 years to 2 years to actually start thinking about your future. So why am I talking to third years, not the final years? The reason is you people have to start planning early, right? See, previously when you have any company recruiting, right, they'll be testing someone based on their college level. For example, your CGPA or whatever it is inside the college, how you are performing, what's your standing inside the college, right? They'll have a separate aptitude exam or whatever it is within the college, and you'll be ranked and you'll be selected. Of late, what the companies are doing is, they take the entire city, right, pull up candidates from all the colleges, right? Now they are starting to compare it on a city scale. there are big corporations that have already started comparing candidates on a global scale. So hereafter it's not enough if you are, say, first in your class, right? That will not be enough. You should start early, you should plan early and prepare accordingly, right? So that is one thing, the competition and all those things. So as I was discussing about job, you have both the government and the private. So before we get into all those exams, what is the entry point for all of these jobs? Say for software, BPO and others. All these jobs, the entry point is going to be your campus placement, right? The entry point for banks and short service commission is the corresponding exams. For bank, you have the individual bank exams. For the short service commission, you have individual exams. Railways, you have the RRB separate exam. Civil services, you have the UPSC separate exam, right? And others. Now, what is this others? These are the public sector companies, right? Public sector companies, as in the sense, what is a PSU? It's any company which has more than 51% ownership by the government. It's a public sector company. Since most of you are from mechanical, ONGC, SAIL, GAIL, Bharat Petroleum, NTPC, are some of the mechanical public sector companies. NTPC and Power Grid, BHEL are electrical PSUs. ISRO, BEL, BSNL, these are some of the ECE based PSUs, right? So for every department you have a public sector company, right? So how do you get into those also? What exams you have to write? What is the general procedure? So as we were speaking about jobs, the ultimate aim of this is to learn you the importance of what is the requirement for you to take up all those exams. But before that, you'll have to understand how the job market actually is. When you're having a job, why should you actually go and prepare for higher studies? Right? So this seminar, you're going to learn what is the need to do the higher studies. So for that, you should know what is the downside of having a job. For example, let us take any private job, government sector job and bank job. You start up roughly with the BE, the current graduation UG you are having. You will start with starting salary. The upside, the plus points is right after you graduating, you're going to have a job and all those things. So what is the downside? For a private sector job, it's not secure. The job is not secure. For a government sector job, the entry is very difficult. Getting a government job is not an easy one, right? And for a bank job, which is generally the thing of the day today, you have a hell lot of competition, right? I have to tell you one thing. These banks jobs, bank jobs came into picture only after 1990s. The reason is in 1970s what happened, all the banks were nationalized, all the banks were brought into the government sector and all the vacancies were filled up. Okay, so at that particular time you had a very mass recruitment for the bank jobs. Probably still if you walk into a bank you can always find the people at the age of 50 to 60, between that particular range. Those are the people who have got recruited in 1970s, way back when the banks were started, right? Then slowly after 1990 the computers were integrated, even the banks became computerized. Those people were not able to cope up with that, right? So after 1990 what happened is another big scale recruitment came up in banks, okay? But at that particular time people were more fancy with the .com jobs, the computer science jobs. So people left the bank jobs. This vacancies started building up, right? So after that in 2011, that is the first year in this decade where you had a very major bank recruitment. The total vacancy that was announced was actually 1.1 lakh. 1.1 lakh vacancy in 2011, right? But the problem is, in 2011 there was no one who was having an idea that bank jobs are separate jobs, you have a separate exam for that. It is the first year people are announcing, right? For 1.1 lakh vacancies, the very first year the number of applications was 45 lakhs. Without people knowing anything that there is a bank exam. Everyone out here in this hall now knows there is an exam called bank exam and you have a career in that. Think back in 2011, that was not the case. Even in that case, that is the level of competitions that you have. So what I am trying to put out here is, the job market is fine, it is required, but at the end of the day, you need a higher study to make sure you are going to sustain in the market. Right? So, higher studies. Immediately after your BE, you are going to have three options. One is either you will be taking up an MBA, the management related course, or you will be taking up ME or MTech. the technical related course, or MS, the course that you do it outside, the course you have abroad, right? So what are the different exams and what are the things that you are going to see the next 1 hour is, for MBA within the country, you will have to do a CAT, ZAT and or CMAT, all these exams. And apart from this, you have others. Others are, some colleges have their own management exams, right? That is what we are going to cover in others. As far as people who are interested in MTech is concerned, the primary discussion will be on GATE, right? And apart from that, some public sector company exams, right? Which will, see why I am discussing a job-based exam under MTech is, there are companies like for example L&T, right? They have a scholarship called Build India Scholarship. You will have to write GATE, right? Based on your score, they will recruit you. L&T will recruit you after your BE. They will give you salary for the first 2 years, but at the same time, the 2 years you will be studying in some IIT. But the idea is, after completion of your MTech, you should work for 2 years with L&T. That's the bond. So the idea is, you write an exam, you get a job as well as your degree, right? So that's why I put that in bracket, and we'll be discussing that also. As far as MS, your GRE and GMAT exams. So hopefully by the end of the session, whatever you are planning to do as higher study, we'll be discussing all of that. So before that, by show of hands, how many of you are planning for an MS outside? Because I have to discuss accordingly. MS outside. Fine. MBA? ME and MTech? You have a lot of people for ME and MTech. Fine, but don't worry, I will discuss accordingly. So, what is asked in all of these exams? So, we were discussing the bank exam, civil, the MBA entrance exam, the GATE entrance exam, and GRE GMAT entrance exam. So, what is the common area that is described for all of these people, all of these exams? Quantitative aptitude, English, reasoning, data interpretation, data sufficiency. All these 5 things together you call them as aptitude area, right? So the aptitude will always be a testing part in all the exams that you are trying to take, be it GATE, be it CAT, be it GRE or GMAT, whatever it is, right? This aptitude is going to be a part of it, right? Just like how your placement exams are being done. Next is the general knowledge. See, GATE or GRE does not test you on general knowledge, right? But you people can also ask me, how come you are saying general knowledge is asked in CAT? I marked a tick mark for general knowledge in MBA, right? CAT exam does not ask a single question from general knowledge. But the idea is, after you clear the exam, you have the GD and interviews, right? In the GDs, the discussion topics will be on current affairs, and in the interviews also you have. For example, last week there was IIM Lucknow interview, right? Some guy gave his, what do you say? This mark register, all the semester mark sheets, right? In the first year he had done some 1 credit paper called Indian history and something. The entire interview people were asking him about Indian history. He's from BE mechanical engineering, right? The idea is, so that also matters for CAT, right? And current affairs, that also I mark, current affairs plays no role in your GATE or GRE and GMAT exams. Core subjects, no exam will test you on your core subject except GATE, right? So it's actually a matrix format, which exam tests you on which particular area. So as of now, so for an MBA based exam, you'll have aptitude and general knowledge. For GATE, you're going to have aptitude as well as core. For GRE, you're going to have aptitude alone, right? But the level of importance will vary. So, why do people write all these exams? What is the destination? What is the end result that you are trying to take? Right. So, for example, 90% of first years, if in any engineering college, you go and ask them, what is your end result after final year? The first 90% of people are going to say placement. That's all. Have a job when I graduate. So similarly, when you take up any of these exams, what is your end game? What is your final goal? If you take up an MBA, you are almost always trying to take up a course in IIM or XLRI or top institutes in the country. Right? That's going to be your aim for an MBA. So the starting salary will be 7 to 5 lakhs. That's a minimum package. The upside is good pay and good growth. Just like I discussed the problems with jobs, I have to discuss this also. For downside, I have written top 30. That is, if you are trying to do an MBA, you should make sure that you are doing it in the top rated colleges. Because that's where you are going to get this set of salary. Right. So you have a very little amount of colleges. Okay. If you are focusing on IIMs, can someone tell me how many IIMs are there in the country? Sir? How many IIMs are Indian Institute of Management? That is where you are going to study your MBA. Right. How many IIMs are in India? 7, 14, then 21, right? 7, 14, 21. See, all the answers are correct actually. 7 was the original number. In 2011, another 7 IIMs were added. That brought the count, 7 IIMs were added, brought the count to 14. Right. So last year there was another 5 IIMs added. So as on date there are 19 IIMs. Right. The policy is every state should have an IIT, every state should have an IIM. That's the policy. Right. You know where is the IIM for Tamil Nadu? Okay. Where is the IIT for Tamil Nadu? Chennai. Right. So that is one thing. So suitability. So what is it? It's going to be very challenging. The MBA that you are trying to do from any IIM is going to be very, very challenging. I'll tell you from my experience. Like I did my MTech. Okay, I'm not from MBA background, but once I was on a South India tour on bike. The entire South India I was riding on bike during my college days. We went around at night 1 or 1:30 to IIM Kozhikode. We were passing through Kozhikode. We saw the IIM banner, so we went inside the college. You won't believe, at night 1:30 people were studying, not inside the classrooms, outside on the verandas and all those things. The challenge, the thing is, they don't want to study. Their curriculum will be like that. You have 10 hours of classes and another 8 hours of assignments will be done, which you have to do it in the next day. Any typical IIM guy will always work for 15 to 16 hours a day. Right. So you should make up your mind if you are trying to do that MBA. Please be very clear on that. Right. So as far as GATE is concerned, the end result is going to be IITs or IIScs. Starting salary is less compared to the IIMs. Upside, specialized jobs, academic wealth. Downside, fixed job profile. Fixed job profile is, say you do an MTech from thermal engineering or refrigeration and air conditioning. Right. Till the end, you are going to work in that field. Right. So before you choose a specialization in MTech, right, you have to make up your mind. While studying your BE EEE, if you are not happy with power electronics, please don't do an ME power electronics, because the next 30 years you are going to work in that particular area. Right. So choosing what you want to study is also very important. Right. Finally, GRE and GMAT. Destination is generally US and UK. The starting salary, everyone is going to say, yeah, I'm going to get in dollars. Okay. Upside is you're going to settle in US. What's the downside is the visa. Why did I put the visa as a problem is, 60 to 70% of the people who are applying for student visa are nowadays getting it. Right, that is not going to be a problem. But imagine in this particular condition, now you want to do an MS outside. That's a 2 years or 2.5 years course. Right, you have a 5-year multiple entry visa. You will take it. You will spend 20 lakhs for that in MS. Right. Then you will get a job in US. You will not want to come back to the country. Right, because you've got 20 lakhs bank loan. You have to finish it off. Right, so you try to work another 2 more years. By 5 years since you went from here, you will have finished your bank loan. Right, then you want to come back to the country. Then you will think, I will work 1 more year. Right, so then I bring some money when I come back. Right, you work 1 more year. You are working for 5 years or 6 years in US. Then you get a green card. Then you get married. People want to settle down there. So the problem with GRE and GMAT is you have to be mentally prepared to stay for a long time away from your home. That is a very big trouble people are now facing. Right? You are like brought up in the comfort of home. You have to be ready to work outside or live for a long time. Right? So we'll discuss one by one. The first is going to be your MBA. Right? So why MBA? Diversification. I studied BE in EEE. I don't want to do anything in EEE. Right? Let me switch to management. Today I will work in computer science management, some management profile in a computer science based industry. Tomorrow I will work in a mechanical based industry. Day after tomorrow I don't want any of this, I will go and perfectly work in a management industry. You can diversify. Right? You will not be fixed to a particular job. So better prospects, faster growth. Oh, I don't think it's visible. I'm sorry. See, let us this level 1 to level 7 is let us assume that's how you describe the management, right? As a BE candidate, you'll be entering into level 1, that is the executive level or the lower management. With an MBA, with a specialization, you'll be directly entering level 4, the middle management. You will not go to top management. You will not enter into senior management, right? With a specialized degree, you will always enter into middle management, right? Now, one more thing what I have to stress very clearly here is, when you are trying to enter into a particular job profile, as I was so when you are trying to enter into a job profile, a specialization will always help you to go ahead. Let us take this room for an example. I want to make this room, right? I want to fix the AC, I want to get the chairs, I want to get the audio system working perfectly and all those things. So you have a guy, right? He's saying, I am the best guy who does the AC in the entire country. I don't know how to do chairs, I don't know how to do the audio system. Then you have a second guy who says, I'll do a good job, I'll do the AC for you, I'll do the chairs also for you, I'll do the mic system also for you. Right? Now from your perspective, you will always be trying to go for the second guy. The guy will be able to do all those things. Right? But from an actual industry perspective, you will always go with the first guy. The guy who is specialized in that particular aspect, so that the outcome is always best. As a BE graduate, you know something about all these subjects. Right? But when you come out with the specialization, only then you are ready to be accepted in an industry. Right? So what are the different MBA programs that is offered inside the country? One is a 2-year degree diploma, that is the most one, the MBA 2 years program. Then you have a 3-year part-time program, say you are working somewhere, right? You'll have, and then you have a 1-year executive program. 1-year executive program, you cannot take it with immediately after BE, you'll have to work for 2-3 years. Then while working itself, you could take it up that program and you could do it on Sundays and Saturdays, on the weekends. That's called the executive program. And the final correspondence program. Right, so 4 options. 2-year program is the maximum program, the generalized 95% of the all programs. Right. So where should you do the MBA? If you are planning for MBA, if you are planning to take a CAT, what you should do and from where you should do. The top, as I was telling you, you should go for the top institutes. Why? Because of their placements, because of the faculty quality, because of their student quality, because of their infrastructure and the image. See, the image of an institute, the brand tag of any institute in higher education is very, very important. Right? See, you may not know now, right? But when you get into a real world, outside world, where you are asking for a job profile, when there are 2 resumes, equally qualified, right? And let us say one resume is having 1% lesser favor, right? But still, if he has a brand tag, he's from an IIT or from an IIM, right? Though he is on a little bit less favorable side, the guys will be picking it up. Reason is the brand tag of the image. That's required when you do a specialization. Right? That's not very big important when you do a DE, but it's very important when you try to do a specialization. Brand tag of the image, institute. So what is the selection process for all these MBA? When you are trying for an MBA, what is the selection process? It's actually a 2-stage selection process. One is the written test, which is the CAT or MAT or SAT or GMAT, whatever, CMAT, whatever it is. First will be a written test, that's the aptitude exam. Second is the GD, EW and PI. So what is GD is, group discussion. EW is essay writing. From this year onwards, some IIMs have stopped the GD process. Instead of giving a GD, after the written test they will call you, they will give you a topic and ask you to write an essay, EW, essay writing. Right. And finally they will have a personal interview round. Okay. So what is the weightage? Weightage will differ from college to college. I put up some overall idea. The written test, the CAT score that you are having is 40 to 60% weightage. GD is 10 to 20%. You can put the EW there. If there is no GD, it's the essay rating there. 10 to 20%. Personal interview 10 to 20%. The work experience is 5% to 20%. Some IIMs ask for work experience, some IIMs don't care about that. And past academic record, past academic consistency, your 10th score, your 12th score, your BE score. Right? So, after I am telling all those things, if you talk among yourself, you will have 4 or 5 major beliefs about CAT. Right? First one is, work experience is a must. So work experience is a must to get a GD and PI call. As I was telling you, some people will say, some IIMs are looking for work experience. So if with BE or writing CAT exam or something, you will not be able to get into an IIM because they look for work experience. Understand the word, it is not mandatory, it is desirable. Right, there are, even IIM Ahmedabad takes freshers. Though the number of freshers is limited, but it is not that freshers will not get seat. Right, that is one misconception people generally have. Second is, only the IIMs will have sectional cutoff. What do you mean by sectional cutoff is, for any CAT exam which you are trying to take, you will have 3 sections. One is the DI and LR section, data interpretation, logical reasoning section. The second is the verbal and RC, verbal ability and reading comprehension section. And the third section is the quant section. So 3 sections, right? You have to get marks individually in each section to actually get an IIM call. Right. For example, I know a candidate who has got 99 in DA and LR, 94 in verbal and RC, but he has got only 60 in quants. He is not getting even an interview call from any IIM. You have to perform better in all these sections. It's not just for IIMs, for all B schools that's going to be it. If you are trying for an MBA and if you are seriously thinking about giving a CAT, you have to prepare for all these sections. It's not like university exam where first 3 units I'll be able to get 60 or 70. Last 2 units I'll study 2 more questions. If it comes, I'll aim for 80. If it doesn't come, I'll be satisfied with 60. That will not be working. Right? That will never work. Right? Next thing what people think is GDPI is an elimination round. No. GDPI is not an elimination round. GDPI is a shortlisting round. What is the difference between a shortlisting round and an elimination round? Right. When it comes to a shortlisting round, let us say any placement company that is coming into a college, right? You have 5 vacancies in the company, right? 15 people are speaking in GD, right? He will select the top 7 or 8 people for the personal interview, and from the 8 he will take the 5. So in the GD round, the remaining 7 are eliminated. That is an elimination round. But when it comes to getting degrees, if 15 people are speaking, all 15 people are speaking well, they will not cut it short there. They will take all 15 to a personal interview, but they will give you hell in personal interview. They will drill you there. So don't have a conception that if I don't perform in GD and PI, I will be eliminated. No, GD and PI is a shortlisting round. It's not an elimination round, right? And finally, lack of good academics is a hindrance to final selection. That is, I've got 90% in 10, 90% in 12, 6.7 or 7.5 in B. Right? Your graph will look slow, looking downward. See, that is a problem. IIMs will look at that, they will ask you about that. Right? But the weightage that is given to your past academic record, as I was telling you, is 5 to 15%. Right? So if you have a good score in the other areas, you can offset this. Okay, it's not going to be a hindrance, but you'll be able to do it off. Right? So CAT is an aptitude test. You have multiple choice questions with negative markings. This year CAT, you had 3 sections as I was telling you. DI and LR, quants, verbal reasoning, 3 hours exam. For correct answers 3 marks, for wrong answers -1 mark. Right? Yes. So as I was telling you, individually every section you have to perform well. Take any IIMs. You have to get a quants that much minimum mark, verbal this much minimum mark, and overall this much minimum mark is required. Even if you want to be called for GD, it's not the selection mark. It is for the call letter for interview. Not interview, the GD. Right. So, I will be winding up with CAT as of that. So, what is the thing is, this graph is the competition versus returns graph. If you take the MBA, the competition is limited. For example, people think CAT is a tough exam, but only 2 lakh people in the entire country write CAT. Whereas at minimum there are 3 or 4 lakhs engineers out there coming from Tamil Nadu itself. Right. So the competition is not as big as you people expect it to be. The competition is actually small, but the returns is high. The returns in the sense your salary or something. Right. For example, for job after BE, the competition is actually high. When a crown company or something comes to your college, they have 10 or 15 seats only. They will pull from all 100 of you and take only 15 people. Right. But the starting salary will be low. Right. Say in MS, entry level is very tough because not just you people from all over the world will be trying for a particular college. Right. But similarly, the returns is also high, the starting salary. Right. So, next one. Next one is GRE and GMAT. This is for people, so the previous is for people who are trying for the MBAs. Right. So, this is for people who are trying to do an MS in abroad. So before I start speaking about GRE, right, I want to know certain things. For abroad studies, people will generally be giving both GRE and GMAT. Correct. You'll be giving GRE, also you'll be giving GMAT. When will you be giving GRE? Anyone has an idea? Eppo GRE karna, eppo GMAT. Yes. See, if you are trying to get an MS from a technical field, for example, for EC people, MS in telecommunication engineering, for mechanical people, MS in thermal, MS in applied mechanics, MS in advanced manufacturing, right? These are core technical areas. If you are trying for that specialization, what you should actually do is, you should try for the GRE, right? If you are trying for MS in supply chain or MS in management courses, you have to do it in GMAT, right? So understand which exam that you have to write, GRE or GMAT, right? Don't confuse with that. Second thing, when will you write IELTS and when will you write TOEFL? Come on, you have people sleeping. At least I think I hope so. It's not so boring, right? When it will write IELTS and when you will write TOEFL? People will generally think TOEFL is for US, IELTS is for UK and Australia. That's the general idea. But the thing is, it's not like that. In US, 90% of the college will accept TOEFL, right? But there are colleges which accepts IELTS score. There are some universities in US which don't want you to take any of the IELTS or TOEFL. If you have your BE from an English medium instruction, you people are already taking your education from English medium for undergraduate. So you people are exempted from taking up those exams. Right? See, one thing you have to learn very clearly here. For your 12th standard exam, you prepared for the exam, you wrote the exam, you saw what your marks was, and based on your mark, you choose your college and your branch. Right? This is how you did in 12th standard. But what you are going to do for higher education is completely the opposite. First choose what university you are going to try, then see what exam that university is asking you to pass, right? Then you have to write that exam. Directly the opposite of what you did in your 12th standard. Right? Here you have to first choose the college and choose the course. Only then you should start preparing for the exam. Right? So GRE is for, as I was discussing you, MS from technical areas. Minimum, the score is for 340. The exam score will be 340. 170 marks from verbal and 170 marks from quants. Okay. This is the maximum mark, 340. The minimum mark is 260. If you don't attend any question, you will be getting 260 marks. Right. The maximum mark is 340. The scoring happens in a 1 point. That is, after 260, you will not have 260.1, 260.2 Pilla score. After 260, it will be 261. After 261, 262. Just like that. Scoring is a 1 point and the score is valid for 5 years. Say you give your GRE in third year and you have a score, right? You can use that for the next 5 years. That is, you will finish your final year, work for 1 year or 2 years, right? Then do the admission. See, understand one thing, after going to work, you will not be able to prepare for any of the exam. Right? Even while being in college, 90% of us, including myself when I was studying in B, we did not prepare for the exams, even for college exam. Right? So don't think that I'll write my BE now, I'll go into a job, then I'll prepare for an exam. It will not at all work. Please understand, it will not work. At least it didn't work in my case. Okay, for that. So just take CAT, what are the sections in GRE? 3 sections. One is the analytical writing, verbal reasoning, quantitative reasoning. So analytical writing is, you will have to write an essay, right? It may be technical. See, when it's coming to essay, there are 3 types of essays. One is the general essay. Say, write about air pollution. What's the topic? Write about air pollution. Write about corruption. These things. Then second type of essay is where it is a case study based essay. They'll give you a situation. This is the company, this is the current status of the company, this is what is required by the company, what you have to do. The second one, that is the case study based essay. And the third one is the role playing essay. The role playing essay is, they say, this is your company, this is your market, right? What are the strategies that you will be taking? They may ask you to write on any of these 3. It's not limited to your generalized essay. You have to prepare for that also. Next is the verbal reasoning, okay, quantitative reasoning. Last one is the unscored or research section. For some people, for some universities, not some people, for some universities, if you are trying for a research-based course, they want to know how your research performance is. So the last section you have some research-oriented questions, right? So the first one, analytical reasoning. It is a 2 essays that you have to write, 1 issue and 1 argument. Okay, time is 1 hour. Each essay 30 minutes. The mark for the essay is 6 marks. Okay, so understand this. They not say the topic before. Now I am saying the topic. Within the next 30 minutes, you have to think about the topic, get the points, write an essay. Then at the 31st minute, I will give you the second topic. Think the points, write the essay. Okay, and the score increases by 0.5 for both. Points reasoning. It has 2 sections. Quantitative reasoning, as you were studying, has 2 sections. One is where each section has 20 questions. Per section 35 minutes. The basic things that they are asking is arithmetic algebra, geometry, and data analysis. Okay. So as I was telling you, this section is for 170 marks. The maximum is 170, minimum is 130. 130, 130, 260, 170, 170, 340 in that particular range. Next. Verbal reasoning. 2 sections, 20 questions each, reading passages, text completions, sentence equivalence, grammar correction, error spotting, and all those things you did in your 12th standard. Right, same thing, same score. Okay, what are some of the facts regarding GRE? Just like CAT, what are the facts regarding GRE? It is an exam that is happening all throughout the year. For example, CAT you can write only once in a year in November. GATE you can write only once in a year in January last week or February first week. But it's GRE and GMAT, you can write it all throughout the year whenever you want. Right? It is not conducted by a college, it is conducted by ETS, the Institute of Technical Services. Right? They will be the one who is doing it. The exam fees is $200. Roughly for today rate, it is 12,000 rupees for the exam. Within 1 year, you can write the exam 5 times. For 1 year, you can write the exam 5 times. Okay, that's the maximum number of attempts. Next year again, you can give 5 times. There is no cap how many times you can write GRE. And first time, let us say you got 320. Next time you say let us got 310. Right. In the second attempt, you are having lesser marks. Don't worry, college will always consider the highest marks that is scored. Right. One more thing. It's a computer adaptive test. Understand the word. It is not a computer based test. It is a computer adaptive test. Computer based test now is what you are doing for your placement exams. Online or exam, you will be giving your answers. That is computer based test. Computer adaptive test. Computer adaptive test. First question will be given to you. You answer the question correctly, the next question will be much tougher. If you answer the question wrong, the next question will be easy. Second question if you say wrong, third question will be much easy. Right? The computer will start adapting on how you are responding. Right? So GRE is basically a computer adaptive test. Okay. Then throughout the year, except on Sundays. Okay, through GRE, what are the programs that you are going to get? For CAT we saw. Sir, is this working? Hello, can you hear me again? Hello. See, this one. Fine, I'll be able to throw my voice. It's not going to be an issue. So I hope you'll be silent. That's not going to be an issue. So for CAT, see, when it came to CAT, we were seeing, so you had a 2-year program, you have a distance learning program, you have a correspondence program. Similarly, when you take up to GRE, these are the programs that you are going to have. MIS, Master in Information Systems, Masters in Engineering Management, MS, Masters in Financial Engineering, and foreign universities also take GRE as an exam for your doctorate, PhDs also. Right? So as of now, I have covered for people who are looking for GRE, GMAT. GMAT is similar to CAT. The same facts, but similar to CAT, more on quants, right? And for MBA. Next, we'll be looking at GATE, right? So before I actually start up regarding GATE, you have to understand one thing. See, till 2012, when you were in your 12th standard, right? GATE was not at all a big exam. GATE was primarily an exam that was done for getting admission into ME and MTech. That was the exam till 2012. What happened in 2012 is, there are public sector companies, right? As you were telling, the BHEL, ONGs and all those things. If you want to get into BHEL, you have to write an exam, right? Generally the exam happens on the Sunday. You go and write the exam. Then some guy will put a case in some court having a stay order. It will take another 3 months for the exam results to be started to be analyzed. Then after 2 more months, results will come. After 1 month, interviews will be set up. Right? Then after the interview, some guy will again get a stay order. Right? Then again when the results are out, it generally took 1 year. Right? This is one worst part. Second problem with the individual exams with all the companies was, people will generally get this stay in court because saying the question paper was leaked, people are favoring, interview did not go honestly, and all those things. Right? That is why what all these public sector companies, all the government companies did is, they made a decision. Let us not at all conduct an exam. Right? Let us all take up another exam which is already running standard. Right? So from 1992, that is for the you people are passing out in 2017, right? So if you are actually trying to write GATE, you will be the 25th set of people who are writing GATE. Okay. So they have designed more than 20 years GATE is there. People are writing it for technical knowledge. We will recruit through that exam. Right. Previously, for an electrical engineering engineer like me, see, that was my case. In 2011, I was trying to get into all these public sector companies. You will not believe I applied to more than 40 public sector companies. BHEL, BEL, ISRO, BSNL, all those things. I am basically from a triple E background. I had exam for 40 Sundays in 1 year. 1 year has only 52 Sundays. Right. Out of 52 Sundays, I had exam for 40 Sundays. And the worst part is, after the 25th Sunday, my interviews for the first 25 exams started coming. So students were actually having a problem. The application cost for 50 exams, travel cost, keeping a track of 50 application numbers, login ID, password, exam hall ticket is itself a big task. Right. So to reduce all these things, only people started taking up as a single exam. Okay. So what I will be doing, what we will be seeing for next another 20 minutes or 25 minutes is, so what are the career opportunities that you are going to have with GATE? What is an MTech? What is a PSU? What are the other career options? What is GATE? And all those things. Sir, this way. Okay.
I skipped those 3 slides because I've done all those 3 slides in the beginning. After GATE, what are your career opportunities that you're going to have? One is MTech, ME or MTech, okay. Then MS and MBA. Now you people may be asking me, so you just told MS for abroad accepts only GRE and GMAT, right? Why do you say MS with GATE, right? And just now we discussed for doing MBA you have to do CAT, right? Again I put GATE for MBA, right? I'll tell you what. So MTech I think you will be very clear for all colleges, IITs, IIScs, NITs, any college in the entire country. If you want to do a specialization, ME or MTech, you have to take up GATE, right? Why did I write MS is, there is another set of course called MS by research or MS by program which is running in all the universities, right, where the entry point is going to be your GATE exam. And since more of you are mechanical here, I wanted to say something. For mechanical, if you want to do a PG outside India, what's your first choice? Germany. Agree? For anyone from mechanical or automobile background, if you want to do PG outside the country, you are going to focus on Germany. And for Germany, you have a list of universities called the PU9. The top 9 universities of Germany joining together, having an association and all those things. Now, from this year, or not from this year, from last year onwards, GATE is compulsory for Indian students for getting admission in Germany. Why? See, GRE, as just now we saw, GRE is always testing you people on how good your mathematics is and how good your geometry is. Right? Just because you have a good knowledge in mathematics, I cannot give you a MS program in IC engines or a MS program in thermodynamics. I am not at all testing you people for the program. Right? So what is, and most of the applicants for Germany are from India. Right? So what they did is, for Indian students we are going to have a standard exam. So people appearing for GATE is not optional. It's not optional for Indians, it's compulsory for Indians. You can visit RWTH website. RWTH is the top university in Germany for that. And TU Munich also has put it up. So 2 universities have started it. Other universities we are waiting. What? We are awaiting the confirmations. Okay. So why do you do an MTech? I was telling you why do you do a MBA. Similarly, why do you do an MTech? Better jobs, better research work opportunities, the brand name, the stipend. This stipend is 12,400 which I have put up, right? That is regarding last year. You people must be knowing 7th pay commission is coming into picture from this January onwards, last month onwards, right? So the stipend is likely to be revised by nearly 18k. If I am not wrong, any campus placement company that comes to you, let us assume they give you a starting salary of 3 LPA, which is equivalent to 25,000 rupees a month. Your take home will be 20,000 rupees. That's the fact. Your salary is not 3 LPA, your CTC is 3 LPA. Okay. So for the same amount of what the reason people started taking the jobs, not the higher study, is the money, financial support required for the family. Right? That is why nowadays for MA and MTech, for MBA you don't get stipend. Right? For MA and MTech what people are doing is they want to give stipend. They want more people to be specialized, to having the skills. Right? So as of now for 12,400 rupees. Right? Career options and subject specialization. So these are the reasons why people generally try to take up GATE. Right? Next. So these are some of the top institutes in the country that offer GATE. Sorry, offer MTech. Just like for CAT, I was speaking about IIMs. Correct? Similarly, for GATE, you will be focusing on, for ME and MTech, you will be focusing on IITs and NITs and IISc Bangalore. Right? So, what are the recruiters for MTech? Right? See, in all these companies, they will never go, they very rarely go for BE graduates. These companies will not come for a campus placement for a BE graduate. Very rarely they do. The reason is the same example which I gave you before. They are looking for specialized people. So for people with MTech, these are some of the recruiters. Though it's not these recruiters for all the colleges, but these are the companies that prefer MTechs over BE. Okay. So, what is a specialization? I brought up only for 4 departments. For ECE, you can do MTech in integrated circuits, communication, control systems, VLSI. For EEE, power systems, instrumentation, control and automation. computer science, information security, embedded systems, database management, and mechanical, manufacturing, design, automobile, aerospace, material technology, thermal, sim, computer integrated manufacturers. We have different specializations. Whatever I was telling you before, right? So choose your specialization as of what you are planning to do. Right? You have all those options out here. So, I was telling you about these public sector companies, right? You are having an exam. So, if someone asks me whether you are going to try for an ME, MTech or go for a PhD, I always recommend them to take up a PhD. The reason is what job or what money you are going to get after ME or MTech, you are going to get it after BE if you get into a public sector company. That is point number one. Point number two, these being government companies, they sponsor you to study the ME or MTech. For example, DRDO. For example, ISRO. Right? They take up people, right? They give them salary, just like L&T does. L&T is a private sector who is doing that. They give salary. They actually send you out to get a specialization on their expense, right? And they can get you back. After the catch is, after coming back, you have to pay that money what they spend and also work with them. But still, you are going to have both the work as well as the higher studies, right? So why do people take a public sector job? Is the high pay package. For the starting salary itself after BE will be 8 to 9 lakhs for any public sector company, right? ONGC for mechanical is roughly giving 11 lakhs. For EEE Power Grid, I hope you heard PGCIL, Power Grid Corporation of India Limited, right? Starting salary is 12 lakhs. And for ECE, there are some public sector companies. For example, ISRO and BSNL. They do not recruit you on your GATE score. Just because you are writing a GATE exam, they will not take you in. But Bharat Petroleum or ONGC just takes you in because of a GATE score. But ISRO and BSNL do not do that. What they rather do is, ISRO has its own written exam. Right? But people who have qualified GATE, they need not write the written exam, they are directly going into the personal interview. So it's not recruitment directly based on GATE, but you are exempted from writing the written test if you are trying for that particular positions. Right? Job in the core sector, work-life balance, you will never see, you should actually ask a government employee how many types of leave are there. Right? Earned leave, medical leave, casual leave, sick leave, restricted holidays leave. Apart from this, all national holidays, public holidays, religious holidays, and you also have something called LTA, leave travel allowance. In leave, if they are going for a family to some higher destination, the company will pay for the tour also. They give you leave, they will also pay money for your tour. Right? So the work, see, why I am saying this is, I am not saying don't work. At the end of the day, if you are choosing a job for money, 8 lakhs or 10 lakhs, all the money that you are earning is to ensure that you are having a good work and life balance. It doesn't make sense to earn 12 lakhs or 25 lakhs and not spend time with your family. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for you to work at all. You should have the necessary work and life balance. In the long run, that will help you. Right? The salary will not help you that much. Only the work and life balance will help you that much. So these are the public sector companies that is accepting the GATE score for jobs. See, I am focusing first GATE with jobs, then we will be doing GATE with MTech also, don't worry. Power Grid, HP, NHPC, NDPC, VHEL, all those things. RVNL, Rail Vikas Nigam Limited. Predominantly, the public sector companies are mechanical and EEE. Predominantly, right? Most of the companies are mechanical and EEE. For ECE, you have comparatively less. Right? For computer science, how many of you out here are computer science? I have not touched many computer science. Very few. For computer science, people do GATE because of two reasons. One is trying to get into CDAT. You must have heard of CDAT, right? Center for Development of Advanced Computing. That is the center for computer science engineers outside in the country. That's the highest. They take upon GATE score. Right? Okay. This is the recruitment process for all these companies. I don't want to look at the company, just look at the second line after the heading. GATE weightage is 70% and you have the personal interview. Out of 100 marks that is given for taking you into a job, 70 marks is given for your GATE score. And 30 marks is given for your personal interview. And one more thing important here to note is, it does not take into account how much you have scored in your BE. BE 6.5 or BE 9.9 makes no difference. Right. That is one. These are some of the companies. Okay, this is the second type of recruitment, where 70% weightage is given for GATE, remaining 30% is not given directly for personal interview. It is given for personal interview, GD, and or proficiency test. Proficiency test means people who are trying to get into power grid corporation. Typically people, core working power systems, after all the interview, you will have a separate test specifically in power systems. Right. For you guys, ONGC, HPCL, right. At the last stage, you may have an exam on specifically thermal engineering and fluid mechanics. A guy who is very good in manufacturing technology has no place to actually work in ONGC on the ground level. So some proficiency test, it will have a very minimum weightage, just to test whether you know the subject or not. That is also is currently done. This is second process, right? But again here also the weightage for the GATE score is 70%. So the seminar was on the topic importance of all these exams, right? So when you take up a GATE exam, it's important for both your job as well as the career, higher studies, jobs as well as the higher studies. So what are the other options? CSIR. Okay, CSIR most people are not aware. What is CSIR? Council of Scientific. I have the abbreviation also. Sorry. In Chennai, where do you have the CSIR labs? Taramani. In Taramani, what are the labs that you have? You have electrical, Sikri, Karakudis branch. You have structural engineering, one separate. You have one separate. You have one for mechanical, separate. Right. And also one for electronics, separate. Now why I am saying this is, see, I was telling you all these times saying, these, if you try to do an MTech, you will get 18,000 rupees, 17,000 rupees and all those things. Not many people know, CSIR has an entry level position called training scientist. Trainee scientist or training scientist, not so sure. The entry process is through GATE score, right? Entry process through GATE score. The salary is 35,000 rupees for studying MTech. There is no agreement that you have to work with them. For the first 2 years, when you are working as training scientist, half a day you will be working, half a day you will be studying. Right. At the end of 2 years, every month you are getting a stipend salary of 35,000. At the end of 2 years, you are going to get an MTech also. Right. CSIR. And you also have to pay fees. The fee will be, if I am not wrong, 1,500 rupees per month. So from 35,000, they will deduct that 1,500. Right. CSIR labs. See, that's the reason I am talking to third years. You have so many opportunities. You have to start pursuing all those opportunities. Right. And Baba Atomic Research Center, BAR, especially for electrical and mechanical, TAFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, ISRO, DRDO. DRDO has announced the recruitment process last week. After 2 years gap, DRDO is announcing a recruitment process. For the past 2 years, DRDO did not give a recruitment. 2 weeks back they announced, right? They are going to have a separate exam, right? The syllabus is exactly GATE syllabus. They are not taking through the GATE exam directly, but they are having their own syllabus, which is exactly the same. Right. Okay. I was telling about mechanical people compulsory for Germany, right? Similarly, you have NTU and NUS, the universities in Singapore. Okay. IITs and IIScs are the top in the entire country. We know that. They, on a world average, they stand somewhere around 170 or 180. Whereas NTU and NUS stand on a world average less than 50. For Indians, they don't want GRE or GMAT, they also accept GATE score. Right, NUS and NTU. I think it's lucky I focus more on mechanical. So NITI, National Institute of Technical Industrial Education, Engineering, right? NITI in Mumbai for MBA program in supply chain management and industrial engineering. Okay, just look at the salary package for that. The average salary is 12 lakhs, and the funny part is the total number of students in the campus is 360. The number of companies visiting is 170. For 350 students, 170 companies will be fighting out. So NITI is one of the prime spots for mechanical engineers, and which does the admission process, the ME MTech process through properly GATE. And as I was telling you, IIMs do. Initially I told no, with GATE you are going to do MBA also. IIMs also give a program called fellowship program. It is equivalent to doctorate, right? The entry score is GATE. They also consider CAT, but the entry score is for GATE, right? And above all these, you also have teaching options also, right? So about GATE, so I was telling you about what are the why MTech, why public sector companies after GATE. So what is GATE actually? We've discussed this. See, if you could see this graph, this particular graph, till 2011, there are only 5 lakh people taking up the exam, right? See, in 2013, it's almost tripled to 12 lakhs, right? I was telling you, from 2012, all the companies have started using GATE. From that particular point of view, number of applicants is pretty much high, right? So it is conducted every year. Last week, this year's GATE exam was done, GATE 2016, right? Not last week, day before yesterday, on February 7th, it was done. It was this time done by IISc Bangalore, which means the next GATE, the GATE which you people are going to sit, is going to be done by IIT Roorkee. It's a rotating order. After Bangalore, it will be done by Roorkee. Okay. Next one. Okay. We don't know what's going to be new in GATE 2017. What you people going to get new, we don't know. So what was new for your senior set, right, in GATE 2016? One is exam specifics. From this year, calculator is not allowed in the GATE exam, but they give you an online virtual calculator. You cannot take your own calculator. There will be a calculator in the computer, right? But there is a plus point and a minus point here, right? The minus point with that type of calculator is, it will not have that matrix calculations, and the second, see, I am very frankly saying I still don't know how to solve a third order equation. If you give me x cube, some x square, some x something, I always use my calculator to solve the roots, which is a very fundamental application for all BE graduates, finding the third order equation. I still use, I don't know how many of you are doing it by hand. I always use my calci. If it's fourth order or above, I always use my MATLAB, right, till I was 90. But now to stop all these, you are not allowed calculators. So which means, though you will be able to do some calculations, you will not be able to find the roots, you will not be able to do matrix calculations. You have to start practicing early. That was a very big change in this year's GATE. And then syllabus changes. There was a syllabus change in this year, but very significantly. One topic extra in the entire subject, one more topic extra, one topic removed. For computer science, 2 subjects were removed. Information security and software engineering. Till last year they had the subject, this year they have removed that subject completely. Okay. And challenging marks. Till last year, they used to tell you at the end how many marks you scored, that's all. From this year, for people who wrote their exam last week, they can download their answers today. From today or tomorrow onwards. You can get a copy of all the answers that you have given, right? They'll also put an official key, right? If your answer, let us say for one question, you think this is the correct answer. You are very sure it is the correct answer. But they say the answer is a different answer, you can challenge them, right? And they will change the answer also. That is something new that they have brought this year. An addition of a new stream, which is not concerned with you people. From this year, they have petroleum engineering also as a separate GATE paper. I don't think that will be much of an importance for you out here. So these are the changes with GATE 16. What happened this year? So for you people, on similar lines, we may expect something. So eligibility, since all of you are from a single college, single year, I will say only final years will be able to give it. Minimum be final year. So which means you'll be giving it up in next January, last week, right? It's almost February 1st, so you have 1 year for that. So what is the exam going to look like? See, the exam is going to have 65 questions. Okay, out of 65 questions, 10 questions from aptitude, remaining 55 questions. In 55, 31 marks, sorry, 25 1 marks, right, and 32 marks. That's the idea, right, for aptitude. And see, when I say GATE, since all these things are there, don't think that very good marks is required. For example, can someone tell me how much you need out of 100 to get into an IIT? 80. IITs can give you a seat only for 80 marks. See, actually speaking, out of 100, if you are able to score 45 plus, right, out of 100 for a general category candidate, you will be able to get into an IIT. If you remember the previous PSU list I was putting up, if you see the last column scoring marks, I would have put 55 plus or 60 plus. If you are able to get 55 and above, right, then you will be able to take up most of the public sector jobs. Right. So actually the exam is not tough, the exam is tricky. In this, out of 100, 15 marks will come in aptitude, 10 marks will come in mathematics, right, remaining 75 marks from your core. Right. And there is something called the gate qualification and gate mark. Gate qualification is, I was telling you guys, they will be giving you money to study this gate. That is not necessary if you take a rank. If you get a minimum mark, wherever you study in IIT or IISc or any college, it was opened yesterday or today only it was opened, the financial assistance given by the government is going to be same for everyone. Just because he is studying in a very good college doesn't mean he is going to get extra money. Right. And for that, for all departments, it is roughly 25 marks. Out of 100, if you are able to get 25, right, you will be given money to study. Wherever you are going to study. Right. For mechanical alone, it is 28. For general category candidates, for OBC it will be lesser, for reservation it will be lesser, for PH also it will be lesser. I am just talking about the highest marks required. So that's the highest required marks, right? So types of question will be either MCQs, multiple choice, or numerical answers. Numerical answers, in this, see, there is one more good thing about it. The number of multiple choice questions is reducing, and they are giving more numerical answers. Numerical answer sense, it's like fill up the blanks. You have to work it out, the answer will be a pure number. Right? There is no negative marks. For these numerical answer questions, there will be no negative marks. Okay. But for multiple choice question, you are going to have negative marks. Okay. This is one thing that I want all of you to see. This one, is it visible, the last one? How do you calculate the gate score of someone? That is the formula. Okay. So it will take into account how much you have got, how much everyone in your batch got, how much everyone in the same time. See, exam you can write it in 8 different slots. Unga slot la edutha mark la evlo irukku, adula top 1% mark evlo, neenga evlo, கடந்த 3 வருஷத்துல top 1% mark என்ன, கடந்த 3 வருஷத்துக்கான average என்ன, இதெல்லாம் calculate பண்ணி they will put up this formula and they will come up with your marks. The reason is your gate score is valid for 3 years. That is, when you give in final year, say for your family needs you have to take up a job immediately, you can go and take up a job, work for 2 years, right, settle yourself financially, and then you can come back and do a specialization. So that is why they are giving for 3 years validity. If you get a score, it will be valid for 3 years, you can get your admissions. Okay, so which means they have to take into account the past 3 years candidates. That's why this particular formula and all those things are there. Right, so you have an option of doing your work and then coming back to higher studies. Right. So I don't think I have to tell you the syllabus for EC, networks, EDC, analog, digital, mechanical, mechanics. Most probably all the subjects that you have studied till your 5th semester. Very rarely you will get a 6th semester papers. Say for example EC students, networks you have done in your 1st semester, 2nd semester. Networks means circuit theory, right? EDC, analog, digital, control systems, signal systems. All these 6 subjects you have done it till before your 4th semester. You have done EMT and your communication theory in the 5th semester. That's the entire syllabus. For mechanical also it's going to be the same. Any subject that you study in your final year will never be coming, because it will always test you on your basics. That is an advantage why you 3rd years can start preparation. You don't have to worry that I still have 1 more year to study. What if those questions are coming? It's not at all there in the syllabus. Right. So, and yes, so I was telling you, you have to score at least 45 or 50. You don't have to study all these subjects also. I put up for all departments. Say for ECE, if you study these 3 subjects, networks, EDC, digital, it covers 30 marks. For the last 5 years, how much marks was coming? For EEE, for mechanical, for computer science. See, you're gonna have to study everything. If I told you now, you'll be studying only those subjects. It's not like you have to concentrate on everything, right? But certain select subjects will help you to get qualified. But for getting a good job or PSC or MTech, you need, right? Next. No, we'll skip all these. Next. Yes. So, at the end, what I'm trying to push you out here is, if you are trying for a job right away, immediately your financial commitments to your family requires a job, look for campus placement, but prepare for an exam previously and have the validity in hand. Because after 1 or 2 more years, you are going to need a subject specialization. This can be explained by the fact of last year what happened with, you must have heard in the news for TCS and Infosys. Last January, from Chennai alone, more than 15,000 people were laid off. Last January, right? They are not underperformers. Right? Those are people who joined 4 or 5 years before, say 2011 or 2012 batch, right? Working in computer science. In the 5 வருஷத்துக்கு அப்புறமா, say you people are coming in 2017. If you compare you people with them, you will have more subject knowledge. When I was doing my engineering, there is nothing called smartphone, right? You don't have any internet connection, all those things with your phones. Don't think I'm too old. 2011. Okay. You don't have smartphones. You don't have anything, right? So we don't know what is Java programming. We don't know what is iOS programming, all those things. Today you ask any computer science graduate, they'll write an app. They have a course or they have seminars on app-based programming. So 2017 graduate or 2011 graduate, coming with BE people who coming recently, having more subject knowledge, with salary compared to they ask more salary, the 2011, because they are working for 5 years. People coming new are ready to come for lower salary, which means more knowledge with less salary requirement, people are able to take up these. They are not, people who are specialized in something, they cannot send them out. Because there is requirement. But support executive, they recruited, they sent it out. Right? So when you are actually planning for a job, always keep in mind you need a specialization. You need a higher study. For MBA or MS or ME or MTech, that doesn't matter. But you require a study. And stable, comfortable job, go for the government sector. If you have the finances, as I was telling you, if you are trying to earn MS abroad, you need finances and you need the inclination to work. Staying outside from home. You go for MS. Unsure about job prospects for the BE, I want to learn more and I want to go with the job also. Go for GAIN and go for MTech. Right? See, I don't want to do engineering at all. Right? For people like that, you could go for your MBA. So you have to choose and all those things. Right? So I think we have last 2 minutes. Excuse me. So I hope you had a informative session for this. Sir, it's actually introduced me. Myself, I am Murli. I am from Time Out here, right? The academic head for all these courses, right? And as you know, we'll be doing we are doing coachings for all these things, right? So we are planning to start some batches. So there's a scholarship exam that's being done for GRE and GMAT people who are trying. It's on Feb 14th, coming Sunday. For CAT also it's on coming Sunday. For GAIN it's on 21st of February, that is next Sunday. If you want any details, you could visit the Time Education website or you could call the number. Right? So I'll be happy to take any queries that you have. I'll be happy to take any of the queries that you have. See, you people have sat with my seminar for 1.5 hours. You don't have any single doubt. Sir? Civil. You people must have told in the beginning. I asked what departments are here. Right? Okay, fine. I'll take 2 minutes. Fine. I'll take the same 2 minutes. I'll explain now. For civil in the beginning, Civil, the same structure for GATE for you people also, right? You have a separate paper, civil engineering paper, and there are some companies like L&T, right? Both L&T Infotech and L&T Code Manufacturing, which take up people based on the GATE score. And as I was telling you, the L&T Build India Scholarship is specifically for civil people, right? But if you are civil, you have to apply for the L&T scholarship in July itself. That is, you 7th semester application. 7th semester interview. Right? So go on Google search about that. L&T, search it like L&T BIS, Build India Scholarship. The MTech they will be sponsoring is Construction Technology and Management in IIT Madras, IIT Delhi. The salary will be 39,000. That's for civil, right? Mata MBA GRE is same for what I discussed for everyone. For biotech, you have a separate GATE paper for biotechnology, right? Though you will biomedical, there is, as of immediately now, there is no public sector company that is actually taking up the biotech people, right? But the companies like Biocon and people who are working specifically in pharma industries, right? For shortlisting and return rounds, now they are taking up the candidates GATE score. Because instead of, I cannot test you in 30 minutes how much biotech knowledge you are having, and then I can use the same exam. So, private sector, public sector, there is no level players like this. But in private sectors, you have people who take into account all these things. Right. Any others? Sir? I have no much information regarding chemical because very few people are from chemical. But I know there is a separate GATE paper for you people also. That's the only thing I am sorry to tell you. Anything else? IT is with CSE. Both are same. No, syllabus wise, what you do is different. But whatever is for CSE is for IT. Right. No, not enough with the departments. If you have any queries about some exam or something else, fine. So, if you have any doubts or queries, excuse me. I told you I'm going to leave in the next 1 or 2 minutes. Yes? See, fine, but wait. Since he asked it, I'll tell you. For multiple choice question, 1/3 of the question is negative. One question is A, B, C, D, all options are 5 options are A, B, C, D, E, is 1/4 negative. What idea is 5 answers, 1 answer is the correct answer. Micha 4 choose the probability of choosing that answer is 1/4. So that is a negative mark. So as of now, you have A, B, C, D, all options. Right? 1 is the correct option. So if you are writing a negative answer, it means wrong answer, you are choosing 1 out of the remaining 3. So 1/3 is a negative mark. 2 mark question, 2/3 is a negative marks. Okay. But 1 mark and 2 mark and multiple choice question, you don't, numerical questions, there is no negative marks. Numerical. And since he brought up the topic, I have to tell you one more thing. Let us assume the answer is 14.15. Answer 14.156. Answer. College of 13.8 length 14.6 answer your answer is correct. Calculation assumes approximations sir. Because the assumptions is the but when it comes to GATE 14.156 answer 14.15 no. Double digit accuracy is required. 14.14 is wrong answer, 14.16 is wrong answer. The 13.8 length are 14.6 right? No, see, it's not like I'm putting the negative things in front of you, but these are the things that you should actually hope and prepare. Right? See, for taking up GATE, there is no age limit, and you don't have the number of candidate appearance also. IAS you have 5 years, 6 years limits in the there is no limit. Point number 1. For ME, MTech, there is no age limit, but for public sector companies, see, all these are entry level positions, right? So, as I was telling you, fresh talent 24 or 25 is the cutoff age. It varies from company to company. if you are writing GATE for ME or MTech, there is no age difference. Sorry, age limit. If you are trying for a public sector company, 24 or 25. GATE exam நீங்க எழுதலாம். ஆனா வேலை வந்து கிடைக்காது. That will be fixed. Anything else?
Nothing, sir.